Assalamu alaikum and shukran for tuning in to this week's An Nur the Light. As we navigate our course in life, we often find the unexpected or the inspired, which leads us to think or live our lives differently. This week's guest takes her purpose seriously and has become a beacon of hope for many who have lost their way. Aisha Hurzuk has dedicated her life to the service of others. She sees this as a way to put the teachings of Islam into practice, and her energies are focused on those less fortunate.
I came from very humble parents, not much education, not much money. You know, life was very simple, very basic. I was just seeking something. And with Allah's mercy, I managed to get through matric, and then I went to go night school, and then I studied at university till 2011 was my last qualification, where I did special needs education.
As one of the longest-serving volunteers at the organization Lifeline, Aisha continues to train and teach new recruits the ropes. This job is not for the faint-hearted, as counselors often have to deal with life and death situations.
I started off at Lifeline more than 25 years ago as a telephone counselor. I started doing the course first. After the course, I was selected, and I came through to be a counselor. And I was doing telephone counseling, and I just saw so many opportunities at Lifeline to grow as a career. And from the telephone counseling, I progressed to becoming a trauma counselor, and I started doing face-to-face counseling. And from there, I moved on to being invited to become a facilitator for the course that Lifeline runs. You can't apply to be a facilitator, you get invited.
In 2014, Lifeline recognized Aisha's contribution to the organization with an award for her commitment and dedication.
The beauty here is we see people coming here. We see them coming and saying, you know, I used to communicate in a terrible way with my colleagues. I didn't realize it until I tried this new communication style, and my relationship has improved. It's just amazing. It feeds my soul.
There are many first loves in Aisha's life who compete equally for her attention. Education is close to her heart, having been a teacher herself, and she continuously gives of her time to uplift and improve young people's hearts.
I got my teaching degree and I started teaching at various schools. I've been at several schools, but the current school I'm at the moment, it started off as a home school because it was catering mostly for kids who left school to go and do hifz, and the girls were doing alima and so on. And it would have meant they would have lost their education if they were not able to come to us, because they were now 17, 18 years old and having to start maybe at grade 9 or grade 10 because they left that many years to go and do the hifz. So they've come back to us, they integrate beautifully into school, and they finish their matric.
Another of her favorite projects is a drug counseling center. For Aisha, it was important to become involved as the youth represented the future.
I couldn't walk, couldn't talk. The way I was swollen all the way from my head to the toe. The people at Sultan Bao, they fought on my behalf to get me into an institution, like a place where I can dialyze. So from a public hospital, I'm now at a private clinic.
I do sometimes now feel that, how did I get here? How did it all happen? You know, I actually don't know. How did it all happen? I wear so many hats and I'm so comfortable in every role that I'm in. I'm not looking at it as serving. I'm just looking at it as something that I have to do. And where the have to do also comes from, I don't know, you know, there's just something about me that once I've committed, you've got me for life. If you're a friend of mine, you'll be my friend for life.
Aisha Hurzuk has proven through her life's work that she is a guardian angel for those in need. Her selfless dedication to others is acknowledged wherever she goes, but she remains humble through it all. She is what Islam demands of every believing Muslim, a credit to the faith and the example of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. People like Auntie Aisha give selflessly, and we are all better for it. Next up is another selfless individual, Maulana Ibrahim Bam, with this week's Q&A.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahi wahda, wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da, ala man la nabiyya ba'dahu, wa la ummata ba'da ummatihi, wa la kitaba ba'da kitabih, amma ba'd. Respected viewers, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Q&A segment of the An Nur program. We begin by praising Almighty Allah and send salutations upon the messengers of the Almighty and those who follow them in righteousness and guidance. Amongst the questions that we have, one of it, is it dislike for a Shafi to not recite the Dua Qunut of Fajr out loud because most of his followers are Hanafis and Malikis, so that they can see that he respects their school of thought? My suggestion in this regard, and it is something that is a general rule and principle, the followers should follow the school of thought of the Imam. So if the Imam is of a particular school of thought, he must recite according to his school of thought. And the accommodation should come from the followers rather than the accommodation coming from the Imam. Yes, we should accommodate different schools of thought. And in accommodation, how do we accommodate? Does the Imam accommodate or does the followers accommodate? The proper way is the Imam must perform his salat according to his school of thought. And according to that, the followers must follow suit. It's not the other way around. It's not that the Imam must change his school of thought for the sake of accommodating the followers and the muqtadis. So in this way, there is greater accommodation that you follow the Imam, not that the Imam will follow your dictates. So you, whoever your followers are, whatever the followers are, they follow the Imam and he must follow his school of thought. The second question that it is, what is the view of arriving late for the Friday prayers? Is the prayer valid? Bear in mind that Friday is the most important prayer during the week. Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has greatly emphasized it. Inna yawm al-jumu'ati sayyidul ayyam. The day of Jumu'ah is the king of all days, the most virtuous of all days in the week. We are supposed to make sure that we come on to the prayers well in advance to be able to benefit from the spirituality of the day of Jumu'ah and from the entire Friday prayers. If you come late and, for example, you are 1 rakat late, your prayer is valid. However, we must see to it that we don't unnecessarily and without any reason miss out on the Friday prayers. Jabir bin Abdullah radiyallahu ta'ala says that Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Man taraka al-jumu'ata thalathat min ghayri zaruratin taba Allahu ala qalbihi." He who leaves out a Jummah for 3 consecutive Fridays, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts a seal on his heart. And may Allah ta'ala protect us from such a warning. Therefore, we should be careful and try to be on time. If you are late, your prayer is still valid. If, for example, such a circumstances come upon you, you are caught up in a traffic jam, you try to reach on time and you miss your Friday because of something that is beyond you, then you perform your Zuhr Salat, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not hold you accountable, provided you have tried your utmost to be there for the Jummah prayers. And then the third for today is, does a woman have to be divorced 3 times in order for her to marry another man, or are 1 or 2 times enough? This is a very important question. To give 3 talaqs at one is haram. To give 3 talaqs in one has been discouraged. Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has greatly discouraged the aspect of giving 3 talaqs in one. Unfortunately, in our community, we feel until 3 is not given, then the talaq is not counted. This is not correct. You can give 1. In fact, the best way is to give 1, allow the iddat to pass by, and if there is no reconciliation within the iddat period, upon the expiry of the iddat, the nikah automatically breaks and the husband and wife part ways, and it is permissible for the woman to get married to anyone else. So to give 3 is something that is definitely not recommended, and it is not only permissible, but it would be encouraged that people only give 1 and break the marriage. There are many, many other benefits that the time does not allow us. But just in conclusion to say, you don't have to give 3. In fact, not only is permissible, it is recommended that we break the marriage with 1. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq of following upon the dictates of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all times. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
If you have any question you'd like to pose to Maulana Bam, then please do send via our details on screen. This week's topic deals with entrepreneurship. Being an entrepreneur takes courage, determination, vision, and a good idea. It is regarded as one of the best ways to create employment, but many people struggle because of funding. There is, however, a variety of options available to them.
The question asked most often with businesses that we meet is how can we get funding? And what we do is we actually assist small businesses in asking for funding, and it sounds simple, but when we look at where companies are falling short, you need to remember that the people they're speaking to is actually people in an organization. So you might see, this is a Standard Bank or it's Nedbank, but it's a person which has a job, and their job is to take this budget and actually spend it on something very, very specific. But we assist them in actually asking those questions, packaging their business correctly.
Khalid has been instrumental in setting up events where entrepreneurs can get access to information as well as meet potential funders.
What we do is besides boot camps, we run information sessions, which is run almost every month, which is to share information on what is available currently for a small business.
Business partners, we fund entrepreneurs, and we have a tourism fund and we have a property fund. We look at how much does your business need, how much money you've already invested in the business. So when we do the funding, post-investment, we will visit you regularly, we will monitor your turnover, your growth.
Whilst funding is available to anyone who meets the criteria, funders are looking at high-growth sectors that have the potential to employ many people.
What we would do is we would look at the business itself, the specific type of support which is needed, which is also industry specific, and we would connect them with those opportunities within those organizations. We also provide mentoring and support for those businesses, and those services are free services, because when we look at the key focus of our foundation is to support businesses, but for the purpose of creating jobs and growth.
Zuhair Mali graduated from university with an actuarial sciences degree and went on to work in the corporate world before giving it all up and partnering on a boat repair service. He attended one of the information sharing sessions and has not looked back since.
Khalid connected with me on LinkedIn and invited me to a Accelerate Your Business seminar. I was taken by his enthusiasm to grow businesses. He was saying, come and speak to me, present your case as the entrepreneur, and we will fund the entrepreneur as opposed to assets that we have.
Every week brings new opportunities for Khalid, and his passion to help others succeed is well received.
We don't compete when we look at where we've positioned ourselves in the sector. It's not competing with other providers. It is there to partner, and that is what we would love to see going forward. A little bit more collaboration with companies in the sector that is all sitting with budgets and programs that they're running. Let's collaborate with each other and look at sharing information.
Entrepreneurs are an important part of the economy, and their success helps with job creation as well as bringing new ideas onto the market. Companies and people such as Khalid play an important role in helping them become successful and in so doing benefiting the economy. There's so much help out there for budding entrepreneurs, so it definitely pays to stay tuned to our show. Kari Mubarak is ready with this week's Tafsir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها النبي أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا وبشر المؤمنين بأن لهم من الله فضلا كبيرا ولا تطع الكافرين والمنافقين ودع أذاهم وتوكل على الله وكفى بالله وكيلا صدق الله العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you. The beautiful verses we've just listened to, recited by Qari Mubarak Talib, are from chapter 33 of the Holy Quran. And it addresses Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, directly, but addresses us through him as well, where Allah in these verses say, O Prophet, verily we've sent you as a witness over your people, to give them some glad tidings, but also to warn them that their actions have repercussions. وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ. You are not calling to yourself or to any particular concept, but you are calling towards Allah, بِإِذْنِهِ, by His permission, and you have been sent as sirajan munira, an illuminating lamp. A lamp is that which is held in front of us when trying to steer through darkness. It is not held behind us. And his example, the example of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is always to be kept at the fore. وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Give glad tidings to those who believe. Of what? بِأَنَّ لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ فَضْلًا كَبِيرًا. That there's great bounty and favor for them from Allah. وَلَا تُطِعِ الْكَافِرِينَ وَالْمُنَافِقِينَ. Our attitude regarding others is that we should not feel pressure, do not feel peer pressure regarding the calls and the influences or the attempts of others, but deal with them respectfully. وَدَعْ أَذَاهُمْ. Do not harm them. وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Place your trust in Allah. Place your trust in your Creator in all that you do. There are lots of theories, lots of calls on a daily basis, information moving through our telephones, on the cyber world, calling us from side to side. It's difficult in all this noise to find ourselves, to find focus. But we deal with others respectfully, and we live in peace, and we place our trust in our Creator. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. And sufficient is Allah as a guardian. May we all be guided to that which is best for our existence here in this world and in the next. And may we become deserving of His eternal mercy forever. Ameen. Shukran. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
For those who are unable to read the Quran in Arabic, there are apps that can help teach you to read it in a language of your choice. Lamiz has a delicious and light meal ready and waiting.
Assalamu alaikum. So Saturdays is usually sports day in my house, which means the boys are permanently hungry. And I'm always trying to find quick and easy snacks that I can make to keep the boys happy. And I usually make a buffalo wing that is just dusted with salt, pepper, flour, deep fried, and a variety of dipping sauces. But this is my spicy buffalo wing variety. And in order to make that, you need the following ingredients. I've got 500 grams of chicken wings. And to spice them up, I use a cup of flour. I use 1 tablespoon of barbecue spice. I use 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I've got 1 egg, and that's to bind the spice to our buffalo wings. And then what I've also got is a tablespoon of peri-peri powder. And I've got a tablespoon of aromat. If you don't like the MSG, feel free to use salt. And then we've got 1 tablespoon of mixed herbs, and I've got a tablespoon of garlic salt. The best part is the turkey sauce. And for that, I use some yogurt, and I've got the double cream yogurt variety, and some blue cheese salad dressing with just a splash of lemon juice, and I promise you, you'll be dipping away. So to start, all I'm going to do is take my flour and add it to a bowl. And yes, it's that simple. In goes my barbecue spice, our garlic salt, mixed herbs, we've got our aromat, our baking powder for crispness. And when it comes to the peri-peri, I like it hot, so you don't have to add the entire tablespoon. We're not quite sure who's coming over, so let's not take all of it. All you have to do now is mix this through thoroughly. And once you see that all your spices are nice and evenly distributed throughout your flour, all you need to do now is crack your egg in, and now you mix. And I do have my oil going, and it looks like it's quite hot at the moment, which is perfect, because you want your chicken to be crispy on the outside and nice and moist on the inside. And this gets dunked into our flour. So secret here, have one dry hand and one wet. That way you don't get the sticky fingers. Another quick and easy way to do this is throw all of this into a packet and just shake. And there we have it. All our chicken is done. Well, dusted, but not quite done. Now they just need a good fry off. And in it goes. And usually just the smell of this going in the kitchen is what brings the boys to the yard. So while my chicken is frying, I'm going to do a quick clean up so we've got space to do the turkey sauce. So the chicken wings are minutes away from being done. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get my turkey sauce going. And all that I do for that is the following. A couple of spoons of yogurt, some double cream yogurt, and then I add to this quite a bit of blue cheese salad cream. Now use your variety of choice. The cheesier the better as far as I'm concerned, and all that this needs is a good stir, just to get your yogurt through your sauce, a squeeze of lemon, and nothing more than a sprinkling of salt. And we've got turkey sauce on tap. So I'm going to transfer this into a prettier bowl. And get out our chicken wings. And these are crispy, golden brown, spicy. I just let these lie on a roller towel for a few seconds just to degrease them as much as possible. I'll just quickly turn this off. And there we have it. Turkey sauce and piping hot buffalo wings. I promise you, sports day would never be the same. Ooh, yeah. So there you have it. Saturdays at my house on a board. So until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
My cooking skills are definitely so much better, and it's in part thanks to these easy meals that I get to see on the show. It is, however, time for us to love and leave you. Assalamu alaikum from me, Sahra Robinson.